Grand biscuits, magic wand waving grand wizards. If you my man, 100 grand and a grand missing. I got 99 problems, what's the damn difference? Listen, on my unborn grandkids, you know a nigga grown when a band is a bandage and the band keeps playing when you on a Titanic and your home network can't handle the bandwidth life's a damn bitch. Still love her though, raw sex pulling off the rubber slow. Rubber dub, that's a dry rub on the roast. Smells like burnt toast, you know I got a serious stroke. Periods broke like the levees. Flow on the mic kinda heavy. Got enough sauce for the spaghetti. Red hot chili pepper, order water under the bridge. I forgive niggas for wanting to live. I ain't mad at ya, I ain't the mad rapper. Just a mad dapper damn rather. Shimmy y'all like a kappa. Somebody tell Boozy that I'm badder. Vanilla extract in a batter. I ain't playing patty cake. I mean, how many patty pies can daddy bake? Mad I gotta save a slice for Sally Mae. May the odds ever be forever in your favor. Forever and a whole day later. Day to day traders. Daylight come for slave labor. Labor Day, labor pains getting paid straight up. Grand Rising, Grand Canyon, grandfather clock, grandstanding. You lucky if you got grandparents. Shit is Operation Grand Clearance. It's clandestine. Magazine Glam Essence. 120 playing lessons from the ancestors. Fan blessings, hand-in-hand hand gestures. Jam sessions, children asking damn questions. Watching cartoons and wrestling. Grand Rising, Grand Central. Freemasons at the Grand Temple. All praises to the audacious, all-seeing eye, all patient. Call waiting for the hookup. Cook up salt fish, just crooked how to pour, get rewarded with more risk. Fried dumpling, daily bread, top of the morning, getting daily head. Taking diabetic daily meds, sugar-free jelly spread. Crown Jewel got a heavy head. You got a headache from the Reggie Reg. Grand Rise, 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 Grand Rise.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is JahLogic, also known as Mr. M, and this is the Morning Rant. And salute to my co-hosts who are with me so far. I think we have some more trickling in as the show go on. VeeSmilez, good morning. Mimi F Baby, and the homie Schoolboy. What's good, Schoolboy? How you doing, brother? How's everybody doing? How's everybody's morning? Take your mics off for Teddy Riley.
Good morning. Feeling great. Got up early, and I'm starting to feel productive. So let's keep this ball rolling.
Amen.
Okay. Mimi and yourself, how you doing? How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Life is good. I'm happy.
I can dig it. I'm gonna let Schoolboy continue to get himself together, but I'm sure his morning is good as well. Just One Love says good morning. Good morning to you, sister. Always good to see my sister Just One Love on the check-in. Chris Jones, salute to the homie Chris Jones. Salute Outlaw. He says top of the morning, kings and queens. Salute to you, my guy. Lorville, I've been up since 5 o'clock. Was good, my niggas. Salute to you, Lorville. Salute to you. You know what I mean? You're a hardworking man. Salute to you, my G. Kid Murray, good to see you, G. He said, bless up, Kid Murray. Salute. And once again, good morning to everybody. So, if you're familiar with the show and you've been watching us, you already know what time it is. It's time for Mimi to give us some motivation in the morning, some health and wealth quotes. I mean, not quotes, but information. My homie Max Steph says top of the morning. Beautiful people. Light up, Max Steph. Light up, my G. You already know what it is. And hit me up, man. I miss my guy. All right. So anyway, salute to my peoples in DC. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's about that time for Mia aka Mimi F Baby, to give us some motivation in the morning. So are you ready for that? You ready to handle that, Mimi?
Of course I am. Let's
Oh,
go.
all right. Let's get it. Let's get that. This segment is called M-formation. M-formation. All right. Let's do it.
1, 2, 1, 2, ready.
Good morning, beautiful people. This is Mimi F Baby. You already know what time it is. Information, the health and wellness segment, just pieces of information to build on to get us all pushing towards our greater self. So, if you watched this week, you know this whole theme has been anything around health. Yesterday, we talked about walking and just starting from where you are and all the benefits of walking. So today, I'm going to build on that because, again, we know that, sometimes it's really hard to get like your workout routine and rituals kick started. So, the quote of the day is discipline is greater than motivation. So, anytime you start a new wellness program, a new eating habits, anything revolving your health. It could be hard to um, get into your flow. And you may be hyped in the beginning, like, yo, I'm gonna do this and make your charts and write in your journals and put down your goals and on your refrigerator, whatever. And that motivation is always fleeing. So I wanted to talk through around discipline and putting disciplines in your life, just like you would do with your kids, or disciplines to wake up to get to work, prioritizing. And one of the disciplines that I'd love to challenge you to if you're starting your wellness journey or kickstarting it or restarting it is put appointments in your calendar so you don't miss your doctor's appointments. You always know if you're going to go check on one of your families. You have times for dates with your friends or your loved ones or whatever, but we don't give ourselves the same kind of courtesy. So set some time, make it realistic, make it that 30 minutes walk. Um, in your calendar. Put it in your calendar and make you a priority. So that's your information. I hope it's helpful. And that's it.
Salute to you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. What that reminds me of is the quote where they say, hard work beats talent. That's what, for some reason, it just kind of reminds me of that as well. So a lot of people think being talented is the end all, and it's really not. There's a lot of talented people that didn't put the work in, hence the discipline, right? And they fall short by the wayside. You know what I mean? Looking like that dude in the Five Heartbeats, singing in the back by the trash and all that. Salute to my guy Robert Townsend. V.
No, I was just gonna say I completely agree with both of you. In regards to moving forward, even with my own life, I had to make a decision yesterday. I came home, I planned to go to the gym. I was smoking an L, and I was just like, yo, you got to go to the gym. So you're literally choosing weed over your health right now. Like that's the decision you're making. Are you okay with that? So people do what they want for who they want, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough, but you have to put effort into prioritizing and moving forward with these things. So it's important.
No doubt. So what did you choose?
No, I went to the gym. I did smoke half the L, and then I put it. And once I had that like little revelation, I was just like, nah, I can't do this. Like I wanted to finish the L, but I didn't. So that was the growth for me. Because normally I would have just been like, fuck it, I just smoked, whatever. But no, I didn't finish it. I sparked it. I let it. I probably had like 2 or 3 puffs. Put the shit down, and I was like, let me just go, because I was already dressed. So and that's another thing I do. Like I don't know if a lot of people who have been runners have told me, be ready, have your clothes ready, especially when it comes to the gym. Like. Have your clothes out or put them on, like even hours before you go. Keep yourself in that mindset of consistently, being where you need to be. So
no doubt. And Kelso, salute Kelso, crazy Kelso. Says top of the morning, good peoples. Top of the morning to Kelso, and we only call him Crazy Kelsey because that's what they started calling him in one of our shows on the network called live and on point. Kelso said you got to take 3 big inhales of the Zazu to your mata and go to the gym. Makes for a better workout. Salute to the big sister Redemption song. Salute to you. And Cold Shoulder says good morning to the panel. Salute to you. I think that's a new name. So salute to you. If you're new to the channel, this is information, fuck shit, motivation, all of that wrapped up in one good one good recipe for a morning show. So get ready for the roller coaster ride. Mr. Blackism says top of the morning. Salute to Mr. Blackism. I like that name. And Don Philly, what up, my guy? He says salute to the panel. Salute to you. Salute to you. And Kels also says most people who do jujitsu at a high level smoke weed. That's true. That's true. And it's definitely a pain reliever as well. And one more shout out to my homegirl Redemption song 76. You know it's not a morning if she don't pull up. Schoolboy, what's good, brother? What's good, man? Your mic is on Teddy Riley.
All right. I think I'm almost there. I gotta get my light together. But
all right, go ahead. And you gotta curve your camera a little bit too, I think. You gotta, to your there you go. There you go, my guy. Just One Love says, so you need to be up and out of bed and working out right now while tuned in, is what y'all saying.
That should be a good show to work out to, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. You know what I mean? And at the same time, if you're not, we're not guilt tripping you. I think what this just saying is that just choose your health over your leisure. Hard work beats talent. And at the same time, go ahead and give us the quote again for the day, Mimi.
No, motivation is discipline is greater than motivation.
And discipline is greater than motivation.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the morning, but there's 24 hours in a day, and you get to choose how you use those 24 hours. So when I take a step back and I look at, all right, all I really need to give is 30 minutes. So, and this is a true story. This morning I woke up and I was like, I don't feel like working out. I usually work out in the mornings, but lately I just haven't been feeling it. So I just put an appointment in my calendar for 3:00 today. I'm going to take my bike, and I name it fun things. So it's not just exercise, because that sounds boring. So it may say something like, go walk my body, or prepare to get snatched for Puerto Rico. So you get make it fun. So it doesn't have to be this daunting challenge.
No doubt. Lovell says, just watching from the shadows. My guy. All right. So you already know what time it is. After information, we got to get the bullshit out the way so we can go ahead and move on with the stories for the day. And the bullshit is the pandemic, a.k.a. the Rona, right? So with that being said, up next is our COVID update. All right? Our COVID update. We got to stay in tune with the bullshit. We got to know what's going on. So next is the COVID update hosted by myself. Good morning. This is Mr. M, also known as JahLogic, with today's COVID update for the morning rant. This news comes to us from CBS, their evening news. And basically they're saying Johnson & Johnson has finally got that one shot ready, that one shot vaccine. We're going to hear from their mouths. Let's hear what they're saying.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are going to begin tonight with breaking news and another possible turning point in the year-long battle against the pandemic. Tonight, the FDA says the new single-shot vaccine from Johnson & Johnson not only protects people from getting severely ill or dying from COVID-19, it may also help reduce the spread of the virus. The new analysis paves the way for the vaccine to be given emergency authorization by the end of this week. And it means 4 million doses could ship out nationwide in days, giving the U.S. another vaccine, and one that's easier to store and administer. Still, there are some concerns tonight. Production delays have forced the company to slash the number of doses it promised the government it would deliver by the end of next month, meaning it could still be months before many Americans have access to that new shot. Well, tonight, health officials are also warning about a new variant discovered in California, which appears to be spreading quickly there, even as there are more hopeful signs across the country showing new infections and hospitalizations from the virus have dropped 50% in the past month. We have a lot of new reporting for you and your family tonight. Our team is standing by. CBS's Nikki Batiste is going to lead off our coverage.
We got our own team. So there you have it. Johnson & Johnson has a one-shot vaccine, and it's a little weird to me because Johnson & Johnson, if I remember right, had some other scandal with them based on their fucking baby powder. Oh, here we go. See, I love my audience. Kelso says Johnson & Johnson sold y'all baby powder that caused cancer. That's a fact. Hashtag never forget. And now they're giving us a one-shot vaccine. The first people to give us the one-shot vaccine. So there's for that. And Redemption says TMI, but fuck it. Getting my colonoscopy today. Please be mindful if you are of age or have family history to stay on it. And that's in regards to, I think, our earlier segment in regards to health as well. Hashtag fuck cancer. I concur. I lost my people. I lost folks to cancer. Fuck cancer. Big facts. And yeah, Johnson.
Hold on. We're just not gonna be strong. Colonoscopies are not fun. So shout out to you.
Redemption, you got this. Redemption, you got this. And Miss Ravioli, we see you. We see you. We see you. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I need to talk about the colonoscopy.
Okay, go ahead. Since this is the COVID update with the colonoscopy, I don't know. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Just take y'all herbs and you will be fine with the COVID. I don't know why John's like that, but with the colonoscopy, like make sure you don't eat anything gassy afterwards, Redemption, because you will be gassy unless they have updated the procedure. And I know that I was doing like bending my body like a gymnast because you are like empty and there's nothing but air in there, so that those little two tubes, one to like suck stuff out and the other tube is like a camera. But I think you're gonna be knocked out, so you won't feel it then, but when you finish, like you will be like empty but gassy.
Okay, there you have it. All right, we're networking. We're telling people how to react when or prepare for procedures. Redemption, you know we wish you the best, and there you go. She says thank you, Miss Ravioli.
Also take the moringa leaf and your black seeds. I have a new capsule with black seeds in it. And there's another one, Trifala. It has alma and 2 other things in there. If you can get your alma in, that would be good. My mom passed away from cancer when I was 17.
Our condolences. Yeah. And I definitely lost folks to cancer as well, as so did Redemption, and probably most of us. So definitely fuck cancer. We need a cure. Fuck the bullshit. Virginia Sim says, peace and good morning. Peace to you. Peace, peace, peace. Kelso, yep, we read that. So Max Steph says, Johnson & Johnson got too many lawsuits for me. I still don't even trust flu shots. Fact, though, I don't understand how anybody's going to take a Johnson & Johnson anything after what happened with that baby powder ordeal. Stick to making fucking lotion, bitch. What were you saying? What were you trying to say, V?
I was gonna say my problem is not really with the vaccines or people taking the vaccines. It's what's happening now after people are taking these vaccines. And I've witnessed this. You now have people who are walking around after they've taken the vaccine, not wearing a mask, feeling like they're almost immortal to, diseases and stuff like that. Some people are looking at these vaccines in general as just a one-time solution. And now that Johnson & Johnson is coming out with, a single dose shot, I think it's just emboldening people in maybe the wrong way, because people are going to take this now and they're like, oh, I got everything I need. There's no part 2 to this. Like Johnson & Johnson, they've been around for years. Why would it could go the really wrong way depending on the mindset of the person. So that's the thing that I worry about with this. And I just hope that they are, I don't know, trying to, I guess, teach people as much as they can. I mean, they know what they're doing. They know what they're putting out there. So it is what it is. But yeah. Fair point.
But some people was doing that anyway. You know what I mean? So, but fair point though. They want to get back to normal. People want to get back to normal. Brooklyn Honcho says, top of the morning royalty. Top of the morning to you, King. Salute to you, my guy. Let me see. And Laurel says, Miss Ravioli is back in her Batmobile. She is. And in her defense, I sent her the link late today. So she didn't know she was probably going to be on. So she probably was already handling other business. But I definitely want Miss Ravioli on today because later on I would like to talk about how to readily identify an abuser. I want her to. It was Shine Time, Miss Ravioli. I hope you have your list on how to teach us how to readily identify abuser. All right, because some of these stories are involving abuse. Virginia, look, she has her. She got her book, Psychopath Free. Okay, Virginia Sims says health and wealth redemption. No doubt. There's nothing wrong with preventive health check. Salute to the sis. Yeah, exactly. I agree with Slim. Definitely health and wealth to you, redemption. Virginia Sims also says, why are you popping pills in your car instead of in your house, Miss Ravioli? It's a good, I think she I don't know, man. I'm not even gonna speak.
They're herbs. What are you talking about? I gave the list, the rundown, and it's a picture on Instagram. And I put a new picture up with the coconut oil, a charcoal toothbrush,
You're,
the black seed
you're, you're,
capsules.
you're deflecting. You're deflecting. You're gaslighting.
Wheatgrass is not popping pills. I mean, come on, it's wheatgrass powder. That don't make no sense. Iris sea moss powder. I make the caps. Oh crap! I just lost 2 pills. I make the capsules. They're empty, and then like this one, these are coffee. It's a super mushroom coffee.
All right. We're going to continue with this COVID update, Ms. Ravioli. I'm sorry. We'll get back to you in your popping pills later. Schoolboy's back just in time because Schoolboy baby mama is on a check-in. I'm just here to count how many super chats Schoolboy receives. That is all. So she's counting your pockets from the chat, Schoolboy. Schoolboy's baby mama. Redemption says the literal fast tracking of all these vaccines is deeply concerning. I agree. Brooklyn Honcho says,
real quick though, on that, if I was to take a vaccine, I would consider the Johnson & Johnson because I know that if they get it wrong, the lawyers are going to be on that, and I would be happily compensated because they're too big of a company. Like they have to get it right, or it's going like some lawyers gonna come up off of that. So
I mean, I hear you, but no, I mean, you don't.
No, I ain't taking the vaccine regardless. But if I have to take one, I'm going to Johnson & Johnson. That name's big enough.
All right.
What are the specifics of the you can't sue the pharmaceutical companies anymore? What are the specifics of that?
It's the same. It's the same. It's the same. School. It is what it is around the board. You really can't sue people off of that. I mean, but like she said, they're old company. Maybe there's a hungry lawyer out there willing to try, but that you should all know that if something happens to you via a vaccine, there's nothing you can really do besides hold that L.
I was gonna say if they just start sticking it in niggas' arms, then somebody's gonna have to speak up for that. Like then But right now it's good. Like right now, anybody who's taking a vaccine, you walked in there and you took it. You know what I'm saying? But until they start holding niggas down and just going like I don't think anybody else could be responsible.
There has to be some kind of lawsuit if they start mandating though, but not to derail.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. But guys, I'm because we're gonna try to do a 2-hour show today. Because yesterday we went 4 hours. Listen, I'm gonna run through this and get these and get the rest of this COVID update cracking. Brooklyn Hodges says, when will these shots be available to the hood? Probably right now, sir. You know what I mean? They want to definitely vaccinate black folks. And Sleazy Aki, salute to the homie, says, I'm late. Salute to you, my guy. Just One Love says, Miss Ravioli be in her car more than a Lyft/Uber driver. And she be shushing motherfuckers in the back seat too. So maybe are you picking people up? Are you picking people up and shushing them? Is that what's going on?
I do take people to work for one of my friends. She helped me out when I worked for her as a victim of domestic violence.
Slow down. But who did you shush the other day that was in the back seat is all I'm asking. You shushed
That was one of the girls, and she don't like dudes like that. And when I told the GM that I used to work for, she was like, what? They was in there talking to you. They did, they like kind of be going together or whatever.
You shushing her. You shushed
That was her woman. That was the GM's woman. Because she said she didn't want to be on camera. But she forgot and she started talking.
Miss Ravioli shushed the shit out of her. That was crazy. There's a short list of people you can shush. Brooklyn Honcho says, if I hear Miss Ravioli say readily identify an abuser one more time, I'm telling Mr. Ravioli. Well, that's the name of today's episode. I didn't put it as the title only because I didn't know if she was going to be able to pop up. But that's today's title of the episode today because we want to talk about that. So I definitely got to get through the COVID bullshit so we can get to the stories, so we can get to the topic, the group conversation. Virginia Slim says, salute to Mr. Ravioli and Schoolboy's baby mama. Brooklyn Honcho says, only in nigga town will they forcefully make you take the vaccine. You're probably right, sir. So also with the COVID update, I think it's I think I should mention, excuse me. I think I should not think I should mention. I know I should mention, speaking of forceful vaccines, people forcing people to take vaccines and mandating it. The military begins delivering vaccines in Texas, New York, and I believe Florida and Philadelphia as soon as next week. This comes to us from U.S. News. I'm going to quote them and read some of the article for you. The U.S. military on Wednesday began delivering shots at coronavirus vaccination centers in Texas and New York and announced that the service members will start staffing 4 centers in Florida and 1 in Philadelphia next week. I know in the beginning of all of this, when Trump, our ex-president, said something about Operation Warp Speed and having the military issue the vaccines, we talked about it then, and we were a little, up in arms about it. But then we said maybe he's just talking about delivering it to the sites, right? But now they're confirming that they're actually going to be working at the sites delivering the vaccine. And just the optics alone is intimidating. Why would you even have the military administer shots to the general public is crazy. I'm going to read a little bit more from the article. They talk about 139 member teams began operations in New York City, boroughs in Brooklyn and Queens, and Dallas, which has 2. They are expected to soon be delivering 3,000 shots a day. Austin has so far approved the deployment of 25 military teams, which come in 2 sizes, 222 members and 139 members, and a total of about 4,700 service members. So far, 11 have either started or will begin to work next week. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has asked for 100 teams, which will put the Defense Department on pace to deploy as many as 19,000 troops if all are needed. The troops number is almost double of what federal authorities initially thought would be needed. The 5 military teams moving into cities this week include the 139-member units going into Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and Jacksonville in Florida, and 222-member teams going into Philadelphia. This is. I think I said enough. I think it's pretty crazy that they're doing that. Really quick, if anybody has anything to say about that, I'll allow it right now. Go ahead, V.
I'm not surprised that they're already starting it, but I see what they're doing is they're slow walking people into this entire process. Everybody always had, thoughts about, things that would happen in the future as far as concentration camps, vaccines, all types of, diseases just, ravishing the earth. It's just something that, they're slowly doing. First, this is the first step, having the military just be around and assist with the vaccines. And then the next step is forcefully making people take them, and then the only thing that's concerning is what's going to happen if people choose not to do it. So I want to say good morning to everyone. Thank you guys so much for having me on this morning. I appreciate you guys, but I have to go. I will see you guys not tomorrow, but Monday. Yes.
See you Monday, V. Have a good day, all right?
Bye. You guys do too.
Peace. Lexicon, good morning, sister. She says good morning to all. Good morning to you. Max Steph says, in the DMV, the wait list is so long, pause, you can't even get a COVID shot unless you're 65 plus. First responders or school teachers, the hood won't be able to get on the list until early summer, if that. All right, that's interesting. We did a story yesterday about in Los Angeles, they were trying to give it to the black and brown people, aka the hood, but there were people from affluent communities who were stealing the codes meant for the black and brown people too. So it's kind of crazy. And Redemption says exactly, Steph. They're both in the DMV area. Lexicon says sorry, sir. Sorry. My fault. Salute to that man. Yeah, so also
maybe if black people really want the vaccine really bad, maybe if they like riot the way they was rioting this summer, they'll give them the vaccine.
I don't know, man. I think they want to give it to them. You know what I'm saying? So I think if they just say, hey, I would like to get it, and they have especially if we do the essential worker job. So there are a lot of situations where we probably can get it, but the general person in the hood, I see what they're saying. So, but that's firsthand report from my guy who's on the grounds in DMV as well as Redemption. She's on the ground in DMV as well. So I believe what they're saying too, but I also believe that they want to give it to us. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. And maybe like V said, the slow train, you know what I mean? Maybe they're just setting up for when that part happens, Kelso says, I saw on the news that they were trying to make vaccines available to elders and then minorities next because we are at higher risk. If they prioritize giving anything to blacks, beware, never forget. And we will never forget, sir. Just One Love says, Louisiana has vaccines now available for the health and educational fields. Yep. I think that's pretty much most places. And also, I wanted to show you guys this quick video of this man who got a negative test, a little 20-second video.
Think you know Scotland?
All right, excuse me on that. And he decided to go to the airport. I guess he was traveling, and he decided to go act a fool because he had that negative test. So we're going to watch that quick 20-second video. All right, pardon the commercial that just tried to steal our joy this morning. All right, so let me get right back to it.
No négatif, ouais, négatif. Ouais, no négatif. No négatif. Ça veut dire que les lives là.
They are speaking Creole, I believe. And yeah, ignorance is bliss. And my thing is, like, he's kind of acting like what V was saying earlier, like somebody who has an vaccine and acting invincible. You know what I mean? He's putting his tests in people's faces, all this crazy shit, his mask is down, all because he has a negative result, a negative reading on his test, but acting like he can't get it currently at that moment. Like he can't still get the shit. So I don't know. Let me see. We got a comment that just came in. Kelso says, motherfuckers be on the edge at the airport. He was paying with his life. That's a fact. I used to work at the airport when I was young, and then again in my older age, for free flights later. But I remember working security when I was young. And I always noticed that at the airport, even when I'm traveling, it's like people are tense. People are, you know what I mean? People are late for their flights. They don't know where the fuck they going. You know what I mean? They don't know if they're going to catch their flight, rather. And everybody's just angry most of the time. What were you going to say, Mimi?
Even if you're negative, yes, to your point, you can still get it. And by the time you took the test to the time you get the results, anything could have happened. But also, if you're negative and you have a vaccine, it's just like at this point, wearing masks and staying 6 feet should just be a common courtesy because you know you're vaccinated and you know you're safe. But I still don't know that, so I just think it's rude, given like the state of the general consensus. It's really rude.
I agree. I mean, he was with his friends, so he was violating them, but he violated the people that worked there too. I don't know if you've seen that part of the clip where he put it in the people's face who worked there. So might have lost my job that day. I'm not going to front. So with that being said,
he was putting the paper on their face and everything.
On their face.
Yeah, like actually touch it. Yo, that shit's hella disrespectful.
Yeah.
I thought so they weren't all friends. I thought he was just joking with his friends.
Nah, bro. He shoved it in the face of the workers too.
Oh yeah, man. I
Yeah.
I feared for my life. I had to protect myself. I slapped the hell out this dude, as a reaction.
Yeah, and that could, how would I have known that test could have been fake? Like I have a real problem with people, especially black people and people of color, being rude to what would be considered like a blue collar job or a service job, because these were like our aunts and uncles. Like not everyone has the same privileges, and
Mhm.
that also would have heightened like you about to get cussed out and beat up. Yeah,
Mhm.
like that's the problem. And like you're in that lady's face too, because he goes to her next. Like, nah, like I wish somebody would have cussed him out for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you need more than getting cursed out. But Redemption says personal space violation. Louisville said, what city was he in? Like I said, I heard a little Creole, so I'm assuming he possibly was either in Florida on his way to or from the Caribbean. Um, Brooklyn Honcho says that wasn't at an airport near any of us because we know the results of that action. Facts. Kelso says I be acting like that after I get my negatives on my STD test after months of being a hole. He also says I felt his energy, no doubt. And Kelso says Haitian nigga smack with a paper in front of JetBlue. I'm turning him blue. Don't let that go over your head. Salute to my Zoes. In case y'all don't know, you know what I mean? I was raised by a Haitian mother, born in Haiti, raised in the city. So I claim Haiti heavy too, but he was wild. He made us look bad. We got to hold that L. We got to hold that L in that situation. Sleazy Aki says, I can't stand to see people disrespect people making their food. Me too. You know what I mean? And I definitely can't stand it if it's somebody that I'm actually at a restaurant with. Because I'm like, they about to spit in all our food, right?
Let me ask you a question. When you go to fast food restaurants and they mess up your order, do you go back and ask them to make it over again, or you just take it?
I go
I ask
back.
him to make
I
it
go back.
over again.
So,
But politely, like I do the white woman. I hate to be this person because I hate cheese. I don't like cheese on anything.
What? Hey man, cut her
I don't
mic.
like
Cut her
dairy.
mic, bro. Cut her mic.
But
You don't like
anyway,
cheese, bro.
so everyone like if I order a Philly cheesesteak, I'll say I want a Philly steak. I don't want any cheese, but by natural habit, someone will put cheese on it, or
Bruh.
like cheese on a burger. So I always have to go. It's not uncommon for me to go back to fix my food, but I've been working since I was 15, and I started in fast food. I've waitressed before. I've done a lot of odd jobs. I've cleaned toilets. I'm not too big to do anything. So I one being there, I know how it feels to be like looked down at. And two, I have family that come from like small country towns, and so again, those could be my aunts. And at the end of the day, it's just human decency. So if I'm out with you and you acting crazy, you'll get checked by me real quick, and
right.
then we ain't gonna hang out no more.
Yeah, yeah. Redemption says exactly, Mia. It's about the approach, right? So she agrees with you. Precious says Miss Ravioli looks like the black Cruella DeVille behind that big ass wheel. Salute the pressure in the check. Good morning, brother. Kelsa says no cheese. Oh, her pH is very balanced. Brooklyn Hunter says point for the ponytail, but deduction for no cheese. Oh,
No cheesy ass niggas either. Y'all take note.
Oh shit.
Kelso says, treat the janitor with the same respect you give the CEO. I live by that. I live by that, sir. You know what I mean? Places that I frequent, I'm known to be that guy. You know what I mean? In college, I was just like that too. Like I knew everybody, from the person who ran certain departments in the school to the people to the janitor. Like you said, I was cool with the janitors, the security guards, the people. Like definitely, like I agree with that. You never know where connections, wisdom, or just a good conversation will come from. So I personally, I get pleasure out of being nice to people. I don't know how many people are out there like that, but I get genuine pleasure out of actually just being nice to total strangers. Like that's my shit.
Because the times I got locked out of my building, even in this apartment, I don't have to pay but I know them, even down to like the postman and some of like the nicer I wouldn't say nicer homeless, but the homeless people around my way. You just don't ever know. Like, you should know your neighborhood, and your neighborhood will take care of you because you're taking care of it.
Facts.
For sure.
Just One Love says, is how you say it, not what you say. That's a fact. And my dude Max Steph says, no cheese on the Philly, kill. And Brooklyn Hunter says, but at least she gets to the bag. She gets to the bag. And Schoolboy's baby mama says, amen, girl. Hey. All right. So with that being said, if you go to the last link in the description today, excuse me, if you go to the last link in the description today, you'll see a petition for us to help get a street named. Well, let me read what they say. They're writing on behalf of the KMD MF Doom Way Committee. If you're not familiar with MF Doom, he's I'm going to say underground at this point. He's a legendary hip hop artist who actually he was part of a group called KMD originally. And he lost a family member who was part of that group and then went solo and started rhyming under the mask and the moniker MF Doom. And they're requesting to rename a street in Long Beach named East Houston Street block between Riverside Boulevard and Long Beach Road, KMD MF Doom Way. All right, so I need everybody to go sign that petition. They're only saying let's get to 5,000, and they're only about like 10 people away. But I think this shit should be this should be in the hundreds of thousands. Like MF Doom is a legendary person if you are a hip hop aficionado. And also I want to shout out to and say rest in peace to him and rest in peace to Fred the Godson, who just got a street named after him in the Bronx. So I think it's very doable to get a street named after MF Doom and where he's from. And let's do it. Let's make that happen. If we can help, let's help push that petition over the top. All right. And Virginia Slim says ravioli with the eye roll. We saw it.
Because I'm over the street naming, like for real. Right now in Atlanta, I see like in what used to be predominantly Black neighborhoods are now being gentrified, and all of the streets, all of the libraries and the schools, the names are changing. If you don't have the money to keep your homes and to keep your communities, like, it doesn't matter. The street names are going to change. Why are we putting all this time and energy?
You want to know why?
You
want to know why?
Into that.
You want to know? Yes. It's not even time and energy. It's not even a bunch of time and energy. It doesn't take nothing but 5 seconds to sign a petition, Ms. Ravioli. So let me just say that first and foremost.
No. I'm not talking about the petition side. I'm talking about the committees and all of that. Every step that it took to get to the point where you have the petition that you feel.
All right, I hear you. But let me finish. Right, even when it comes to that, if you're not on the committee, it shouldn't bother you who's spending their time on what. And reason why, and let me give you my reason on why I think the street namings are important. The renaming of the streets are important because most of these streets, I've seen streets in both coasts with the same names. And those names are more times after colonizers, wicked motherfuckers who happen to just have, power from doing wicked shit. And we don't know who these motherfuckers are. You know what I mean? So if we really want to keep our history, that's something we could do to keep history. Yes, we need a street named after the MF Doom. Yes, it's good that Oakland has a street now named after Huey P. Newton. Yes, it's good that in Brooklyn we got a street named after Pumpkinhead. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, a lot of us believe is a culture. A lot of us believe is our culture. So we need these people who impacted us to have their footprint on the places we live. You know what I mean? Or even if we once lived there. Yeah, we need to immortalize ourselves like that. So yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. Shit, I hope I get a name in my future, in my long time from now. Somewhere in Far Rockaway, they named some shit after me, so people know about this young man who made it out of Far Rockaway and did all these great things. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm with that shit.
You talked about time and energy it took you longer to make your point than it took me to sign the petition. So it could be signed. Yeah.
I'm not talking about just the signing a petition.
No, we heard We heard you. We know. Save it for how to readily identify an abuser. Save it for how to readily identify an abuser. Redemption says signed, no doubt. And no doubt. So thank you, Redemption. Thank you. And Kelso says Miss Ravioli equals negative Nancy. Street names keep someone who made an impact name alive. My point exactly. Lovell says Miss Ravioli is basically saying, give me my reparations so I can buy more herbs. I guess. So we talk about a lot of stories, some of them bad, most of them a lot of crazy stories because that's what is on the news, and then we break it down to the underlying issue, and there's a good story I want to bring up. I want to always make a habit out of try to find a good story every now and then. Keenan Khan, good morning, says Miss Ravioli is a hater. And Just What Love says, we'll put Ranters Union Way in Nigga Town. All right, so if you don't know what Nigga Town is, you might want to watch season 2, But here's
wasn't Negro Town also a joke from Key and Peele?
It was Negro Town. It
was Negro Town. Okay.
Yeah, all right, so a young black boy fell in the ice. They rescued him. We should acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Some old white guys and a dog, they rescued the young man. I'm happy to see it. You know what I mean? I think it should be noted and talked about really quick. We always talk about, the bullshit. We need to talk about things like this when it happens too. And that kid could have died. You know what I'm saying? So they rescued the man. Or the young man, rather. Believe this is the people who helped do it. And this is from Inside Edition. So I don't know if they allow us to play their videos, even if it's for research purposes, but I just wanted to throw that out there. That young man's life has been saved. You see him? And they got him up out of there. You know what I mean? They got him up out of there. So salute to that young man.
My question would have been like, how the hell he end up on that ice? And where's his mama and daddy at?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just happy got him. I'm happy they got him out. You know what I mean? But you're right.
This nigga said 2 half-breeds choking my nigga town. It's hilarious.
He also says, typical. Salute the pressure for that observation. He's definitely talking about Key and Peele. You know what I mean? Yeah, so there are a gang of more stories we wanted to talk about. We might not get to them all. I think there's some funny shit too that I wanted to get to, but we might have to save it for the fuck shit Friday. We might have to pull up tomorrow with all of the crazy shit. While Miss Ravioli is here, I do want to talk about some, abuse and things of that nature. So let's talk about these stories that's going to lead us into this next topic. And and honorable mention, shout out to New Jersey. Who just officially legalized recreational marijuana. All right.
Detectives say
salute to New Jersey once again for legalizing recreational marijuana. And for those of you who don't know, the difference between recreational marijuana and medicinal is just the law, right? It's not a different type of herb. So I know some people who don't know much about the cannabis culture think, medicinal cannabis, I don't get high from it, or you won't get high from it. No, you will. It's THC in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Is high levels of it too, right? And it's just tested from a lab. That's what makes it medicinal and put in a dispensary. But recreational, and I know some of you probably know, so salute to you if you know, and pardon me for being redundant, but some people don't know, right? So recreational means that you're going to be able to just walk into a store, no medical ID needed, just a regular ID, and you're going to be able to buy your bud and smoke it and, be in peace. Whereas medicinal, you have to have a medical card, as it once was in California, but it's now recreational as well. So salute to New Jersey. I'm very happy, and hopefully that's a step in the right direction for New York City and New York in general, right? I really hope that's a step in the right direction for New York, because we're being surrounded by places where it's recreational. For example, you can go to Massachusetts and it's recreational. You can go to I think it's recreational in Vermont. I hope I'm not wrong. And New Jersey, like we just said. So these places surrounding New York City, if New York City don't get their shit together, they're just going to be losing out on money. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to be losing out on bread. So yeah, everybody's saying shout out to New Jersey and clapping hands and puffing. And in DC is decriminalized. So that's the other part. So it's like when it's decriminalized means they won't lock you up for it. They might just give you a ticket, you know, but that's still a step in the right direction as well. So when you're in DC, they have a loophole. So you can't, if you can have a medical card, right, and get it from the dispensary, or you can go to a smoke shop and get it as a free gift. That's how it works in DC for people who knows, right? You can get it as a free gift. So you buy like rolling papers or you buy something else and you'll get it as a free gift. Or like the homie said yesterday in the chat, my guy Cactus, he has a company that delivers it, the free gift to you if you buy their artwork, right? So that's how it is in DC. So I'm definitely hoping that they get their shit together in New York. Jersey is putting this step in the right direction because soon as they get that shit popping in New York, I'm opening a dispensary. You heard it here first. You know what I mean? Especially if it's on some recreational shit. That's a fact. I'm open myself. JahLogic Smoke Shop. You already know what time it is. Salute to Jersey.
I have something to say. So if you are, all to the audience members out there, if you are making your own flavors and new, strands or strains, make sure you get those patents, because if they run up on you and confiscate your product, I'm sure they will steal it and patent it themselves.
So the thing about strains, and I'm not saying you can't patent them, but you can't just steal it, right? So if I have cannabis in my pocket and there's a certain strain, you're not going to be able to duplicate that strain. The only person that could duplicate that strain is if you have a plant and or seed of that strain. You're not going to be able to take the dead plant that's been cured to smoke and duplicate it. You know what I mean? So you might want to protect the name of your strain, right? You know, but I don't know about patenting the actual strain. You know what I'm saying? But I'll just say that. So Louisville says, I'll be in New Jersey.
As a chemist, I don't believe that. I've had people get their, I may know of people that have had their items confiscated, and I'm telling you, when the law comes in and they ship it through this different agencies, it can be duplicated.
Okay. Louisville says, I'll be in New Jersey for the green after the winter is done. Let us know when you pull up. You already know what time it is. When you're in town, me and Muhammad will make sure you good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let us know when you pull up. Sugar Shay, salute, good morning, says, salute chat room and JahLogic and Mimi and Miss Ravioli. I'm alive. Salute, Sugar Shay. Salute to you. Good morning, sister. Ahmad says, what's good? What's good, Ahmad? How you doing, brother? Good morning to you. Kelso says, New Jersey dust blunts for everyone. Yo, maybe that's the name of a strain. You need to protect that, Kelso. You need to go ahead and trademark the name or something. I don't know. Dust blunts from New Jersey. Nah, that's crazy. Virginia Slim also says, cross that bridge, Mills. Yeah, Mills is in Philly. All you gotta do is cross that bridge, Mills. You know what I mean? Sugar Shay says, Jersey Turnpike still smell like trash, though. You ain't never lie. You ain't lying about that shit. You know what I mean? I don't even know what that is. Like, I can't stand driving past that shit. Like, it always fucking reeks when you drive past that certain part of New Jersey. That shit make you never want to move to Jersey. Like, that shit crazy. But you know what? I withstand that smell if I'm gonna go buy some legal bud. I'll tell you that. Mills Lane says, Slim, no need. PA legislation is in play and bipartisan. Yeah, I think, yeah, and yeah, you're right. In Pennsylvania, I believe that they have something in the works. You're right, absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. We're being surrounded in New York, for us that's in New York, with people who have they're legalizing it and or decriminalizing it or making it recreational and or medicinal. So New York needs to get their shit together. Right now in New York, the only thing you could do legally is get the oils, and they don't even let you deal with the edibles like that. But I think it's oils and edibles, excuse me, right? And they make it very hard for us to get in the game. But once they make it recreational, then they're not going to be able to stop a regular business owner from opening a smoke shop and selling herbs. So I'm looking forward to that day. And maybe me and Mimi could get rich like we deserve, right? Mimi, you with it?
I'm ready down to do all your production, maybe a weed magazine, something like that.
Yeah. No doubt. Kelso says DC decriminalized. That's a Fed heavy spot. That's major for national legalization. Yeah, man, that's crazy. And it's not. So Sugar Shay says DC is recreational too. It's not recreational in DC. Once again, I'm gonna say it again because the question's there. And I don't know if you heard it when I said it before. In DC, you can get a medical card, or you can get it from a smoke shop, but not as recreational. It's a free gift because in DC, they're not going to arrest you for having herb now, right? So because they can't arrest you for having it, but you can't sell it, technically, people sell something else. There was a lawyer in DC. My little brother, when I was in DC, my little brother put me onto this one spot where there's a lawyer who sells you legal advice and his services via like a coupon, right? So you going in, you give him $35, he gives you a coupon for $35 worth of his services, right? But you also get a free eighth. You know what I mean? So it's like that. You buy something else, but they give you a free eighth. So that's how that goes. Or free weed in general for however much you buy, whatever. Pressure says, what the fuck was his black ass end up in a white circumstances? That little nigga won't see racism when he gets older until his kids get knee on his neck. Creator forbid, but I understand what you're saying, Pressure. Hopefully that young man doesn't turn out to be like a Lil Wayne saying, the white people saved me. I don't know what racism is. I have white people that I fuck with, but I still know what racism is. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Ahmad says it's still better to have your card. No tax and it's cheaper. True.
I am in my opinion.
I agree with that. I think, if you have your card, it's a lot better. Lovell says, wait, I need that DC. I need that connect in DC, Ja. I mean, it's very easy to get. Just go to DC and go to a smoke shop. I'll point you in the right direction, though, Lovell. And I love DC, and I can't wait to go back to DC. Redemption says, is she speaking of cultivation? I'm not sure, Redemption. President says, first legal crack house on the way. Well, we had a topic earlier this week about should drugs be legal. So, we all ended up on, I think, like maybe all drugs should be legal. And Sugar Shay says, I thought DC was recreational too. So I explained what it was, but yeah, it's confusing if you don't really know. But yeah. And Miss Sugar Shay says, Miss Ravioli ain't stupid. And Kelso says, Jai is correct. You have the exact clones. You have to extract clones to duplicate the strain. You also have to know the grow method, nutrients needed, light cycle, etc. Yeah, but nobody listens to me, especially when their name is Miss Ravioli. You know what I mean? They don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just lived in California for 6 fucking years and did my thing in the business. Anyway, Kelso says, shout out to the $50,000 clones out there. $50,000 clones out there. Facts. Trell says, y'all live now, y'all live now, and I'm still listening to yesterday's episode, so I'm gonna have to catch this one later. Hilarious. Yesterday's episode was crazy long, but thank you, Latrell. We appreciate you, King Latrell. Sugar Shay says they put medicine in medical weed. I believe they don't, ma'am. The only thing that makes it medical is the legalities of it. That's it. That's what makes medicinal cannabis. It's just the legalities. You know what I mean? They don't put any medicine in it, but there is medicine in it, and it's called CBD, right? But Reggie, which is the male plant, has high concentration of CBD and low concentration of THC. which is why it was Reggie, right? And that's the shit you see with the seeds. When you see the seeds, that means it's a male. When it's a female, it has high levels of THC. When it's a male, low levels of THC, but they both contain CBD, which is the actual medicinal property. But they don't put any medicine in medical weed. It's just actual untampered with cannabis, right? Because to put it in a dispensary, it has to go through a scientist. The scientist has to take it to the lab. You have to take it to a lab if you want the dispensary to pick up your product, right? So you take it to a lab and they examine it and they tell you how much THC and CBD is in it. And that's all. That's it's just a process they use to put it out. She also says they have a strain called green crack. You ain't lying, and it's good, but it don't have crack in it. Thank you very much. Just One Love says, I'm not smoking nothing with the words dust in it. Sleazy Aki says, as a resident of New Jersey, as a New Jersey resident, I take offense. And Virginia Slim says, Ravioli, you can file trademarks for cannabis brand names and new strains. You're 100% right. No doubt. So I was saying that it sounds right about the names, but I wasn't sure about the actual strain, like the actual strain. But the names, yeah, that makes sense. Definitely trademarking that. Max Steph says, New York has law against everything. That's a fact. Keenan Collins says, we'll never get to smoke legal in Georgia. I don't believe that, sir. I think everything it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You look like you want,
wait a minute now. Every time, all you got to do is drive anywhere in Zone 6 and it's in the air. All you got to do is inhale. Walk outside and go.
He said legal, ma'am.
The police are out there. It's legal. If they are not pressuring you, it's legal. It is legal here, whether it's on paper or not. I'm just telling you, it's legal.
Okay.
Nobody's arresting you for that.
Good morning, Steph. Steph got jokes. Good morning. Sugar Shay says, Sleazy Aki, truth hurts. The turnpike stinks. And Redemption agrees with me. Green crack is fire. Exactly. That strain is fire. Max Steph says, in DC, you can have up to 2 ounces on you. That's a fact. That's a fact. Precious says, Miss Ravioli is a defeatist. Never tell her your hopes and dreams. She filing them across. She flinging them across the airport like her violent crush, Faison Love.
Hey, Faison.
Did little dude. What were you saying to Faison, Miss Ravioli? She said, hey to Faison. In case y'all don't know, Miss Ravioli has a crush on Faison Love for beating up little niggas. Amon says, medicine, like Tylenol and Advil, what the fuck? And Keenan Khan says, Miss Ravioli is a chemist? Show us your beaker in the back seat. They want to see your equipment.
It's not in the back.
Okay.
My beaker, my graduated cylinders in the house.
Okay. Miss Ravioli allegedly making meth in the house. Pressure says all drugs should be legal. The crime rate will cut heavy. All these bullshit drug charges will disappear and the real crime can be focused on. I agree with you 100%, brother. Not to mention people will be chilling, so they ain't gonna be trying to kill each other and shit. You know, niggas gonna be high up, chilling in the house. You feel me? Laura Vell says Portland, Oregon, and Denver, Colorado has the best weed. I was sitting on the dock of the bay watching the clouds pass away. No doubt. Salute to Denver and Portland, Oregon. And Portland, Oregon has that up north, west coast culture, which is heavy in cannabis. You know what I mean? Of course, that culture started in the what they call the left coast, aka the Lost Coast, and the Triangle, where the Murder Mountain is in. If you haven't seen Murder Mountain, check that out. It's a good documentary on Netflix. But it's also an area next to Eureka in North California where that's where the culture went crazy, where they actually started planting herbs in state parks. You know what I mean? Before it was legal, and they started communities off the grid and all that good shit. Virginia Sims says, if it isn't on the books, it isn't legal. We can't argue with Miss Ravioli on that. She's not going to let us win. Miss Ravioli Pressure says, Miss Ravioli is switching, dropping low, and everything's Zone 6, you say. And he meant snitching. Okay, Miss Ravioli is snitching, dropping low and everything on Zone 6. And Kelso says Colorado and Oregon have the worst legal weed. North Cal weed is the best in the world. I stand by North California weed. You know what I mean? North California weed is the top notch shit. Motherfuckers go to Cali and be in LA and think they doing something. Right, Kelso? They be thinking they go to LA, dispensary in LA. Oh, I'm in LA, taking pictures of their medicine bottles and shit. You ain't do shit if you ain't smoking some shit that's from the Bay and further up. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen nothing yet. Redemption said, watch Murder Mountain. Ja put me on is a great doc. It's a really great doc. A really great doc. So with all that being said, talking about the legalization and everything, we do want to get to today's topic, which is how to readily identify an abuser. That's why we have Miss Ravioli on the check-in. And what prompts this is because there's a lot of stories that I happened to see last night based on people, women being abused. This first story we're going to talk about, and we just lost Miss Ravioli. Jeez. But hopefully she'll be back. But this first story we're going to talk about is some attempted rapes. And I say attempted, so don't get too sad. It didn't actually happen. But let me read the rest of these comments before she comes back. Hopefully she comes back because I want to give Miss Ravioli some shine time today. She always talks about how to readily identify abuser. Abuse is at an all-time high. Well, how do we identify this shit? How do we know if our homeboy is an abuser? How do we know if our homegirl is an abuser? How do we know if somebody's in an abusive relationship or worse? How do we spot somebody in the street and say, cross the street, that nigga's an abuser? We need to know. All right. So Precious says Boston smoking on Cali, allegedly. Well, they're at least smoking on the strains because they definitely have the seeds and or the clones to do so. So in Massachusetts, they definitely doing their thing. I visit Massachusetts even during the pandemic a few times. And salute to Massachusetts. That's all I'm going to say. Kelso says the good weed doesn't leave North Cal. They don't know, John. That's what I'm trying to tell them. Or real talk. And Precious says OMG. Shenanigans says Redemption says shenanigans. And Precious says right. So Miss Ravioli's back, but her camera's off. Miss Ravioli, get it together, sister. Get it together. Good morning, Steph. How you doing, brother?
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
All is well, brother. So first situation I wanted to talk about, and this is a news clip, so we're going to watch it really quick. So quick clip. You know what I mean? We've been talking about failed criminals since earlier this week when Steph and Mimi talked about a lady robbing people in a wheelchair. But this is an attempt rape a few times. The same guy attempted to rape several suspects, but they both beat him up.
On edge as police search for a man they say tried to rape two women in separate attacks over the weekend. CBS 2's Natalie Duttridge is live in the Claremont section with more on this. Natalie.
Well, Mary, that's right. Women we've been speaking with say they're nervous and have been kind of looking over their shoulder, worried that this suspect could strike again. Now, one of these incidents happened along this busy street right outside a hair salon. Video shows a man push a 39-year-old woman whose face is blurred to the ground here at Morris Avenue and East 174th Street. Police say he attempted to rape her, pulling her pants down and groping her. It happened on Saturday around 6:50 p.m., just as she was leaving this hair salon.
She ran out to get something in the store. That's when she was attacked. And the lady said when she came back in, she was crying. They called the police.
Customers at the salon say the woman was able to fight the suspect off and is physically okay, but terrified. Just an hour earlier, 3 blocks away at 177th Street and Morris Avenue, the same man got inside an apartment building. This time, he targeted a 29-year-old woman and forcibly groped her. The woman was able to defend herself, and once again, the man took off. Women in the neighborhood are worried about walking alone.
Heartbreaking for the people that had to endure that. Trauma.
I have to walk down here, so I'm a little scared because of that, so I'm going to have to change my way.
This man says he was called to install surveillance cameras at a building near where the incident happened.
I got 2 daughters and a fiance, so I wouldn't want that to happen to my family or anybody else's family.
Notice my man got 2 masks on. Salute to that man.
And police have been putting up these posters all over the neighborhood, offering up a $2,500 reward for any information that helps lead to an arrest. In the Claremont section of the Bronx, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
The police.
Customers at the salon say the woman was a...
I didn't know they was offering $2,500 for the nigga. So yo, check it out. Let me freeze frame on his face really quick. And if anybody in the audience sees this nigga, hold on, that ain't a good picture. We need y'all to report him. And if you get that $2,500, we need you to send a cash app to $, the morning rant. Get this nigga the fuck out of here. Get this nigga out the paint. So that's our first ridiculous shit we want to talk about as far as women being attacked. Kelso says, protect y'all women out here, y'all. That's a fact. Out there, y'all. That's a fact. Kelso also says, I honestly think motherfuckers be walking around with untreated mental issues. Shit sad. He definitely seemed like he got some issues mentally. I agree with that. Lovell says it had to be a nigga. Damn it, man. Yeah, man. Shit is whack. Shit is whack. But I'm happy that they fought him off. And I think that if he got away with, you know, any other rapes, that they will probably be coming out right now. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll be like, well, that's the same guy who got me. So I don't think, you know, there's any other, you know, issues, situations out there. It's probably just those two. However, we need this motherfucker to get the fuck out of here, out the paint. Sleazy Aki says, I would snitch on him for free if I don't catch him first. Yeah, that's a fact. If that was my neighborhood, I caught him first. I would beat the fuck out this nigga, but then I'm still getting my $2,500. I'm getting my $2,500. And you know, I can say that confidently because I've been known to protect wherever I live. You know what I'm saying? On that level. Even when I moved to California, it was like that's not even my hood technically because I wasn't from there. But I remember there were times there was shit happening in my neighborhood, and it was like one particular dude that used to just kind of like really try to like terrorize the block, and he fucked up when I moved to that block. I'll just say that. Virginia Sim says he looks Indian, not dot, not feather. And that might have been the black and white shot. And Lorvell says, I'll say this. All men need to stop watching porn and practice semen retention. You need discipline in your life. Salute, because, you know, I'm a co-sign that. I'm going to say that when you, you know, like in sports, when you box, they say don't fuck before the fight. That's because that's also your energy. So I think that's what he's talking about. And not to mention the discipline you can get from not, just fucking being lazy and just beating your dick all day. You know what I mean? Redemption says, appreciate the clarification, Slim.
Lordville, I respectfully disagree. All right.
And Steph says, New York niggas always ride for their women, just like they beat homie who tried to snatch Shorty off the train that time. And I'm not going to say always, Steph, but yeah, dudes definitely like, I'm pretty sure if they catch that nigga, especially in that area of the Bronx, they're going to put hands and feet on that nigga. And even some big butcher knives, you dig? Because that's where them Latino gangs be at. And they known for cutting the motherfucker up. You know what I'm saying? So
Lunch time. If you mess with the wrong girl, it's definitely gonna be lunchtime.
that's a fact. We got Miss Ravioli back. We just missed the story, but once again, there are a few more stories. This next one, I believe, comes to us from where Steph is from, I believe. Well, I believe it's in Florida. So let me just go ahead and pull that up. All right. And I don't think Miss Ravioli needs to see these stories to tell us how to identify a motherfucker if they on some bullshit. But you know, we're gonna give her shine time, and she's gonna give us a little spill in a second.
I like in-house ravioli. You know what I'm saying? She be in her bag. All right, let's go.
All right. So check this out. There's a group of men arrested for child sexting. And I guess sexting, excuse me. And if you look at this picture, I think I would be able to notice most of these motherfuckers there's something wrong with them. You know what I mean? The creator bless you with a whole head of hair and you treat your hairline like that. Or this one right here. Just look at all these niggas' faces, man. It's obvious all these niggas is weirdos, right? However, we're going to play this video, 2-minute video. All right, really quick. Let's see it.
Local men arrested in a child sex sting bust. In all, 12 men were arrested, many from Marion County. Some of the men are accused of sending sexually explicit photos to whom they thought were children.
Now the sheriff has a strong warning for all parents. News for Jax reporter Eric Abonnier is joining us live from outside JSO headquarters, where detectives help track these men down. Eric?
Yes, investigators say all of those suspects, including the two from Jacksonville, made arrangements to meet and have sex with what they thought were little girls and little boys down in Marion County. Instead, they were met with law enforcement who couldn't wait to take them into custody. These are the 4 local men arrested. The first 2 are from Jacksonville, the third from Lake City, and the fourth from Gainesville. Investigators say they talked online with who they thought were children. Instead, they were undercover detectives that were behind the screen.
Once again, look at these niggas. Look at these niggas. So we're going to have Miss Ravioli talk about how to readily identify an abuser. But once again, look at these niggas, man. I think I would be able to tell that these motherfuckers was on some fuck shit. You know what I mean? I don't know about you out there, but I think that's, safe to say all these niggas look weird and would be justifiable if you were prejudiced against them and assumed that they were. Especially this nigga Robin right here. This nigga Robin looks crazy. All right, let's go.
All those men are accused of sending sexually explicit pictures to the detectives during a news conference. Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods issued a stern warning to parents and also people who prey on children.
To the would-be vile individuals that are doing this and are seeking children in Marion County, be assured that I will find you, I will put handcuffs on you, and I will put you in my jail. My deputies will spend hours upon hours hunting you down. Now, my job is bringing people to justice, but if it was my choice, I'd bury you under the jail if I could. My message to parents, I want to make something clear. You need to be fully aware of where your children are talking online. Be aware of the social media, because all of these individuals in which I have just shown you, for some of them, this might be their first offense, but I promise you it is not their first time.
Now, all of the men arrested in that case could face up to 15 years in prison. Reporting live, Eric Avignon, Channel 4, the local station.
All right, so there's that story. Steph, did you want to say something?
Well, yes, this is out of Jacksonville, at least part of it, right? It all took place in Marion County, which is just outside. But like you said, four of those, what was it, 12 guys? 4 of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, let me pull it back up. Well, go ahead, what you saying?
Oh, but yes, I don't know if you remember we brought up ACE, the allegiance of legions of child endangerment.
Yeah, that was the people that were running down on people on their own, right?
Yeah, all the videos are based out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, I remember that.
This does not shock me at all. I think this is long overdue. We clearly have people and I don't usually salute police officers, but the sheriff is on his square.
You wasn't so I wasn't the only one feeling his gangsters just now, right?
Right. No, dog. And especially parents, you got to know what they're doing on social media.
Yeah.
You have to be involved, more involved in what parents were in the past, because there's more access to them now. Right. And like you said, these guys aren't first timers, even if it is their first offense.
Right. Let me see. I think I got it.
And Jason Sigagay, whatever his name is.
I wish I could zoom in on these motherfuckers, but
that
yeah.
Motherfucker got locked jaw. See, I remember they used to make jokes about white people saying they ain't got no lips, can't taste barbecue. That's the motherfucker they was talking about right there.
I enjoyed the sheriff, and someone said it earlier in the comments when we were talking about drugs, but I wish that law enforcement, we could get off of all of like the unnecessary crimes and unlawful things to black people, blah blah blah. Because when you focus the energy on what you should be focusing your energy on, look what happens. Alan looks really young to me. To be a part, like I don't understand what a sex sting is like, or are they all working together to find children together, or did they all
No,
just
they were
happen to
setting up
get
people.
caught?
No, it's when
Okay.
when the police running like an operation to set people up and see who's messing with prostitutes or underage girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they were all just caught separately, but it was like a big bus, basically.
Yeah. Let me go to these comments. Pressure says, fuck them all, drill them. Kelso says, all these bad chicks out here, and you want to text a little girl with some pissy draws, creepy.
To be
Fact.
honest, bro, the real women don't want trash men like this.
Don't want none of them. Redemption says, pressure. I was with you. I didn't know y'all were giving North Cal that. Okay, my fault. They still talking about the cannabis. Virginia Sims says, as a father, all 12 men need to get no less than a death penalty. Fuck each, every one of them. I agree. Kelso says, protect your daughters. Hashtag protect your daughters. Steph, Mac, I agree with that too. Max Steph says, second nigga at the top. Right. Yeah, that old motherfucker look crazy. All the niggas look crazy for real, for real. And Lorvell says they all look like models for herpes medication. Sleazy Aki said punishment should be chopping dicks off. And Kelso said put them in a ring with weapons and let them fight to the death on pay-per-view. Donate the proceeds to the victims of abuse. I pay a grip to see that. I pay a grip to see that. Mod says hopefully they give them the max because they tend to not with pedophiles. And yeah, yes, true. And they let them right back into your community and think putting them on a website means anything. You know, if you ever went on any of those websites and seen like how many people live in your community, that shit is scary when you have children. That shit is scary. Redemption says, I'm all for chemical/physical castration. And I'm with you there. Pressure says, nah, no drama about people. Okay. They talking about the cannabis still. And Lorvell says, question for the panel. If these were women, how should they be punished? And Lorvell's taking it there. If they were women trying to run up on young men to fuck them, how should they be punished? And you know, it's pretty much a double standard for young guys getting pussy from older women. Most of us don't give a fuck, but if it's the other way around, it's gruesome. So I understand where you're getting at, and I feel like I'll be hypocritical to say, you know what I mean, lock the women up if it was the other way around. But it is gruesome now as an adult. Now that I think about it, but when I was a teenager, I was fucking with grown women. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I don't know if I was preyed on or if I know I was looking for it. I know that much, but yeah.
Yeah, it is a double standard, to be honest, that I still work through. Because I know in high school there were some teachers who was having sex with some of like the cuter football players, but I don't know if the like popular guys, the football players, the ones who did it were preyed on because they felt like willing, and it felt like as as consensual could be with the minor. But I think wrong has to be wrong, even though like there is acknowledging that there's a double standard. Wrong is still wrong. But when you think about like little baby kids, like you look at was it Boosie and allegedly, um, who was like getting his son's like oral sex from like strippers or something like that, and like all the Luma niggas was praising him for it. But if that would have been, his daughter, it would have been unheard of. Or like if he would have, like y'all would have like thrown Boosie to the fire. So I'm acknowledging that it's a double standard. It's equally wrong. Um, I think for pedophiles in general, like the death sentence, I'm not with that. Like, because to me, death is the easy way out because that means you don't have to suffer for your punishment. But I like the method of throwing you in the jail forever and like you being on this like permanent miserable time out and having to see life pass. as you don't get to live yours is
Okay.
how I like to say.
Steph, you want to answer that?
Yes, I seen in the comment earlier where someone said protect your daughters, and the first thing that popped out is like protect your sons too, right? Because as we seen in the Ace video that we seen last season, these men were inboxing young men online, trying to meet up with young men.
Good point.
That was happening, right? So we're assuming that those men that we just seen on the screen were targeting women,
right?
Targeting young men as well, right?
Good point. Good point.
Also, this is a double standard that I don't mind breaking. I believe I have 2 boys. If I see a woman trying to sexually engage with my child online, I want this woman prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Like I don't sexualize our children, man.
Right. Let me go to this next comment. And thank you both for your great points. Kelso says, Louisville, a woman giving box to a young man is doing the Lord's work as long as it's consensual. So this is the problem. This is the problem with it, right? Like I said, when I was young, I definitely, when I want to say at least when I started fucking, because I remember an older woman came on to me before I started fucking when I was like 12. And that shit I was like crazy nervous and uncomfortable, and you know what I mean? I wasn't ready, right? But then a short 2 years or a year and a half later, I was looking for a double back. You know what I mean? I remember I made that joke on the show before. But as an adult, I if it was my son, I would feel a way, because here's the thing, right? That bitch is probably nasty as fuck, right? So let's think about it as adults, right? And you look at a woman your age, right? If a woman your age is trying to fuck with a teenager, you don't respect that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's something wrong with her, right? All us grown men out here, and you want to fuck a nigga in high school, what's wrong with you? You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, she's obviously not to be trusted. She's obviously nasty. And what comes with that? You know what I mean? A lot comes with that. Abuse, diseases. You know what I mean? That bitch could be giving your child a disease that he's going to live with for the rest of his fucking life, that might prevent him from having a child, that might prevent him having a life, might prevent him from having a wife. You understand what I'm saying? So you would rather him, if you really do the math, you would rather him just play in his age range than with a grown nasty bitch, you know what I'm saying, who could potentially violate the shit out of him. It's not just about the sex, you know what I mean? It's, it's the quality of the sex and the person giving it to you, right? So now that I think about it in that light, I would feel away, because my son is he's a toddler now, but whatever. But I like to think my son is God's gift to the world. I would hate for a woman a grown ass woman to violate him and taint him at a young age. You know what I mean? And potentially jeopardize all the fucking potential that he has in his future. You know what I mean? So, but it is funny what you said, Kelso, and Redemption agrees. She's laughing. Precious says Florida is flooded with pedophiles in school zones, forcing pedophiles to become nomadic and untraceable, wandering the street daily with that urge. Drill them. And Kelso says, Redemption, thank God for the cougar giving me box in high school. And Louisville says, I understand that percentage of men can handle being with an older woman, but what about the percentage that become over-sexualized? That's a good point. You know what I mean? If it's a young, handsome boy and all these older women are taking advantage of him, it could fuck up, a lot, mentally, physically, etc., spiritually, etc. Bill Zane says there's damage done to both the girl and boy victims of pedophiles. Good point from you and Steph that brought that up. That's a very good point. I actually know an older guy who used to he was an orphan. He grew up without his parents or whatever. So in New York City, that 42nd Street used to be like a playground for sexual deviants. You know what I mean? 42nd Street used to have a bunch of, peep shows and all types of shit going on. It's kind of cleaned up now, but back then it was crazy. And an older guy told me a story about how, as an orphan, he preyed on the predators. So what he would do is they would come after him because he's a young guy and thinking that, oh, they're gonna pick this dude up, right? Take him to their house and shit, and then he rob him. He rob him and violate him and shit. And what you gonna do? You gonna call the cops? You ain't gonna call the cops, nigga. What are you even doing with me? So that was an anecdote that y'all might get a kick out of. Max Steph says Ray Charles got preyed on by that old chick in the Ray movie. And I think that was kind of frequent back then. Virginia Sims says shit, still statutory rape. The level of punishment should be the same. Feminists want to be treated the same, so they need to start getting football numbers in jail like men. Fuck them. Well, Bell says my first time was with an older woman. Mills Lane says the double standard strays until women who are underage in sexual relationships with grown men talk about how great that experience was. Lovell says old New York Ja. And there was a comment earlier that I wanted to address. You know what? Okay, here we go. Ahmad's algorithm says them gangs won't do shit half the time. It's the one of their own beating a girl up. And I disagree because, you know, when a pedophile or rapist goes to jail with gang members, they get that work, sir. They get that work. So I think if in the hood there's a guy running around trying to rape women and they identify him, I think they would give him that work. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, this is our second to last situation that I want to bring up in regards to abusers and all this type of thing. And in the past, we spoke about Governor Cuomo having people on his staff that was accused of sexual misconduct. But currently, he is now being accused of sexual harassment by a former aide. And there's a video. I'll play the video. You know what I mean? And we're going to dive into that. And then we're going to let Miss Ravioli give us her take on the situation. Actually, let me see. Actually, there's a video in the article, but it's not. Okay, here it is. Let me just get to that part of the video. Here we go. And pardon me for the delay. And yeah. So it reads, New York lawmaker took to Twitter late Wednesday to call for an independent investigation into sexual harassment allegations leveled against the state's governor, embattled governor. Governor Andrew Cuomo was accused from a Lindsey Boylan of orchestrating a pervasive, let me go back a little bit, a persuasive culture of sexual harassment and I wish they were just reading this shit. Bullying. She wrote on the medium that Cuomo once suggested that they play strip poker, and he once kissed her on the lips. The idea that someone might think I held my high-ranking position because of the governor's crush on me was demeaning. Cuomo's office denied the allegations, saying simply false. All right, so that's it for that. So basically, Cuomo's under attack yet again, and you know, the last time he was under attack, it was because they said he had somebody on his staff that was harassing people. Now they're saying he kissed somebody on the lips, and he created he fostered an environment of sexual harassment and bullying on the job. So with all these stories being said, and also there's a comedian. All right. Also, there's a comedian I want to just say that admitted to sexual allegations against him, and he made a 10-minute video talking about it. And what's this comedian's name? His name is Chris D'Ella. Owns up to sexual misconduct allegations. Let me just read this article really quick. Comedian Chris D'Ella uploaded a 10-minute video on his YouTube page where he addressed sexual misconduct allegations against him. He was accused of soliciting underage girls and exposing himself to women And he maintained that all of his relationships have been consensual and legal. He explained, first of all, they quoted him saying this, first of all, I don't know how it looks with all the stuff that's been said, the emails that have been put out there and what media has been trying to say. And I know it looks bad. It doesn't show the full scope of what happened. I stand by the fact that all my relationships have been consensual. That's just it, the truth. Also, they say that he went on to state that he believes sex controlled his life and added that the scandal that surrounded him last year needed to happen because he doesn't think he would have stopped. He also stated he has a problem, and he stated that he need to work on that. And that's the comedian. Y'all might not even know him because he's not that funny. But that's for that. So with all that being said, Miss Ravioli, can you educate us on how to readily identify an abuser? Virginia Sim says Kumo
Well,
must pissed off the elite handlers. They're really trying to get him out the paint. That's a fact. Lovell says put his face on the screen. Ja, let me put the comedian's face on the screen for my man who was having consensual relations with underage women. Let me go ahead and put his face on the screen because y'all don't know his name. Nigga ain't that funny, but his face is pretty familiar. You probably seen him in a couple TV shows and shit like that. So this is his face right here. Thank you for asking. Miss Ravioli, it's shine time. We got about 30 minutes of the show. We got about 30 minutes left of the show, and we need to finally know. We're finally asking you. We wasn't asking you before. We weren't asking you before every other time, but we're asking you now. How do we identify an abuser? How do me and Steph hang with a dude and know and say, oh, this nigga's an abuser? Because I heard plenty stories in the past from women, and I hear so many stories, but I don't know many niggas that's actually running around claiming to abuse women. You know what I mean? So it does, it used to make me think like, damn, all these stories, and I don't know these niggas, but I gotta know these niggas because Logic know everybody, right? So how do I identify a nigga who's an abuser or a woman or some woman? How do we identify? Miss Ravioli, it's shine time. We want to know now. How do we identify?
are you broke? Okay, first, congratulations to Steph for saying watch your boys as well, not just your girls. And Logic, you may think that you know someone, but the reality is you have just had that individual in your presence for for whatever amount of time. You may have just been interacting with them for 20 years, let's say. That doesn't mean that you know a person. So, and also I wanted to add, it's not just men with the girls, it's men with the like um preying on boys, preying on girls, and women preying on both boys and girls. It's all around. It's a spirit. And when you ask like how do you identify it, it's not a look per se on the outside. It's the spirit, it's their behaviors and what they do. So
Wait, let's take it slow.
right.
Let's take it slow. It's shine time, and I know you can get long winded, and it's shine time for Miss Ravioli. But you just told us it's the spirit
And their behaviors.
So let's table the behaviors part. How do I recognize someone's spirit as an abuser? How do I? It's from what my understanding. I can't see spirit. I know you can feel energy, but we don't see it, right?
That's the same thing.
Unless we pop a lot of herbal pills like Miss Ravioli, maybe you can see aura, right?
Okay. One of the things is that they might have an unusual number of crazy people in their past. There's like 30 of these, so I don't know how many of them you want. You want me to run them down real quick?
30 of what?
There's 30 red flags. They're arrogant. There's covert abuse. Pity plays and sympathy stories is usually how they come in. There's like a mean sweet cycle. If you are in a relationship with this person, the person becomes your entire life and Parents, watch out for the people that are willing to watch your kids while you go to work. The ones that you are dating, I would suggest put up cameras. I'm not saying don't date them. I'm not saying don't let them watch your children. I'm just saying put the cameras up, the teddy bear cameras, all the things that are hidden, the camera and the radio. They probably are on Wish or some, you know, some website like that. Backstabbing and gossip that changes on a whim. They're usually gossipers and they're usually backstabbing. The thing about it is that when they're coming to you gossiping and backstabbing, they're doing the same thing with someone else and talking about you at the same time. They basically dismiss your feelings. Um, there's triangulation. You can Google that, or I could tell you later. They're very easily bored. They will have cracks in their mask, and when you notice those cracks in their mask, when you start saying, "Hey, like with, for example, with these men, the 12 or 14 men that were posted, if their significant others or parents or whoever walked in on them playing the game, and then they automatically like shut down and stop talking or whatever, you could feel that if you were the person that was walking into the room. So when you start to identify that and you're like, well, who was that? Who are you playing the game with? And then maybe the game will cut off or whatever. Like those are the types of signs that people miss because it's not something that you're taught to look for. You might think that they're cheating with a grown woman, but really they're trying to coerce a child. But they also could be cheating with a grown man. Qualities they once claim to admire about you. This is if you're in a relationship with them, they suddenly become glaring flaws. So like they may have liked your eyes, or for men, they may have liked your haircuts, your mustaches, and now like it's just all trash later on. How did it change like that?
Wait, wait,
I
wait,
know
wait,
that these are signs
wait,
when you're
wait,
dating,
wait,
but
wait.
they're also
Ms. Ravioli,
go
it's
ahead.
shine time. Don't make me cut your mic off. It's shine time. When I say wait,
Mhm.
you gotta wait because I got you. I need you to repeat that before you move on to the next uh attribute of an abuser. You said something about haircuts. Can you repeat that part? Haircuts, mustache.
Okay,
What?
I said the qualities they once claimed to admire about you suddenly become flaring flaws, glaring
Okay,
flaws.
okay, okay,
So if whatever it is that they admire, say like in March, come June, it's like horrible. They can't stand it or they need you to change it or whatever the case may be. They
okay,
could want you to get a haircut, but they just stole a lot of money out your wallet. So now you can't, but they complaining about it. It could be something like that.
okay.
Um, then they begin to compare you to everyone else in their life. There's love bombing and flattery and idealization, um, provokes jealousy and rivalries while maintaining their cover of innocence, which goes back into backstabbing. So, but a lot of times in a relationship, they'll make they'll talk to their significant other about how other people were treating them so nice and so kind, which will make their significant other feel uncomfortable, and then it creates this jealousy. But the reality is that other person that they're talking about usually has not done anything at all. They're just lying. Um, an unusual number of crazy people in their past. You feel on edge around the person, but you still want them to like you. They expect you to read their minds. They withhold attention and undermine your self esteem. They slowly and steadily erode your boundaries. So if it's something that you were like, I don't like this, I don't want this, whatever, they will just keep on chipping away at all of your boundaries. You
Mm-hmm.
fear that any fight could be your last. Whether it doesn't even have to be physical for guys, because you are usually the stronger person. Um, it would be like you would feel like, dang, if I get into this argument with her, I don't know if she's gonna leave. You are the only one who sees their true colors, because usually they will get comfortable with you in the relationship. And then that's how a lot of people that are victims of domestic violence get trapped, because that person is a completely different person inside the house than they are outside of the house, and no one outside of the house can understand like what's going on because they don't see that person. And
Okay.
you find yourself playing detective. So if you are going through a phone, going through cars, going through closets, laundry, pockets, whatever, that's a red flag. Accuses you of feeling emotions that they are intentionally provoking. So if the person gets mad because their significant other was cheating, they're mad at their significant other when in reality the significant other is just reacting to the fact that they were cheating. Does that
Give
make
me,
sense?
give me a second. And we hear you. I believe it makes sense to me. But I'm gonna go to the comments in a minute. Everybody be patient. But this comment is very, on point. Christopher says, "Are these signs of a physical abuser or a sexual abuser?"
So there's signs of abusive people, period. Because what happens is it will elevate. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Like they won't. It very seldom will you have the person just come in. It actually depends on the person. Like if you're not a person that's just going to accept the abuse, they don't have to chip away at you. So the physical abuse and the sexual abuse could happen immediately because your mental strength is not where it needs to be in order to fight that predator. Does that make sense?
I don't know where he
I'm
went,
gonna say
but
yes. So there's only 7 more here. There's selfishness and a crippling thirst for attention. That's from them. They're usually very charismatic. They're the life of the party,
so they
and
clout chasers.
we could say that cloud chasers.
Those
You
guys,
find your
those guys we put on a big screen didn't look like clout chasers to us though. They look like people that would, be on the low. So I'm not denouncing that attribute that you're bringing, but that characteristic rather. But we want to know about the people we can't identify. You know what I mean? Like the clout chaser, we kind of all know they full of shit. But keep going.
okay. So that is a perfect example right there, John. You just said like that's not the person. That is the person.
No.
That's the
Did I say
person.
that? Did anybody else let me say that?
yeah, I mean, I don't think the term you use is correct. What I feel like I heard Miss Ravioli say is more of people who like want to be loved and liked, like kind of like the mayor of the town. Because cloud chase is like I'm doing this for attention, but like the main guy, the one that wins you over, almost like the untouchable guy. He can walk in any room and own the room,
Right.
and be loved by all. But underneath,
But,
like that
but
iceberg, there's all
not
these
to
other
cut you short, but my question was, did I say what she just said? I said because I don't think I said that's not the guy. I didn't say that's not them. I said that my question was we're looking for the people that's not that we can't identify, right? So we can identify cloud chasers. And what I did say was the people we put on the screen, none of them looked at like life of the party type niggas. That's what I was saying, right? So
That's what I'm saying. You're saying they don't look like the person that would be a cloud chaser. What I'm saying is they might not present that particular version of themselves to you. And of course you're not going to it's probably not going to come across in a mugshot. But when they are with someone else that they can feel whether or not you will be able to catch on to them a lot of the times. So like say someone like you, no, they won't act like that in front of you. They'll be the person that you would like to see them as. Does that make sense?
that
Like the
representative.
person that would be beating up your sister, they wouldn't show you that guy wouldn't show you his mean self. He would just show you the nice version of him. So you would never suspect it. But you would be able to see if he was a clout chaser. Like you can see what type of car he has. Does he always have to be dressed well? And then is your sister equally dressed well? Do you know what I'm saying? Or is he
I
dressed
get
better
that.
than her? Is his
I get that. I don't want to get hung up on this point, but what I was saying was these crazy looking motherfuckers right here. I don't see any of them putting on a fly outfit or driving a nice car. That's all I was saying. So I want to know how we can identify motherfuckers like this. Is what I was just saying. That's all I was. But
Right,
yeah,
but
I mean,
but that's important, Ja, is what I'm saying is
mhm.
it's all relative because what's fly at a low level income is not the same thing as fly at an extremely high level of income. It fly is relative. I mean, somebody could be very happy with getting a bag of peanut M&Ms, and somebody else may only be happy getting a gift as a Bugatti as a gift. It's all
Okay.
relative. You can't. You do you see what I'm saying? It's only
I
6
don't
more.
want to
You
get you up
find
on it,
your.
but hold on before you get to the next one. Steph was trying to say something too. Steph, go ahead.
No, I think what Ms. Ravioli is doing is covering all aspects, which is what you I
Right.
think is
Right.
the initial question.
Yeah.
But I don't think nobody possesses like a abuser doesn't possess all these things, all 30 things. That's a lot of things to cover.
Do
'Cause, like,
you
No,
agree with
most
that?
of the times they do.
I
No,
mean,
most
like,
of the
okay,
times they do.
but I'm saying, and then also all these characteristics that you named, like
I'm not
someone being
done though.
charismatic.
No, we know. We're gonna let you
No,
finish.
I'm not attacking you. What I'm saying is, like,
Don't
all
feel
the
attacked.
what I was saying was, it was like everybody that's charismatic is not an abuser. You know what I'm saying? But that can also be a way to someone lower you in. You know what I'm saying? Into this facade that they have, put up their shield or whatever curtain. What you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Right.
I wasn't laughing at you, but yes, I am. Did it say disrespecting the pimp? Yes, pimping. That is.
He didn't say disrespecting. He said describing.
What did he
Describing.
say? Describing? Oh yes, most definitely describing a pimp. But
Okay. Keep
again,
going.
Steph, there are levels to all of these. It's not just. Do you know what I'm saying? There's levels to the charisma. And
All right, but
the next 6 are you find yourself explaining the basic elements of human respect to a full grown man or woman. Um, the abuser focuses on your mistakes and ignores their own. They are pathological lying and excuses. They're the ultimate hypocrite. They cannot put themselves in your shoes or anyone else's for that matter. And gaslighting and crazy making. You can also Google that one if you don't have time for me to explain it. And that is all from my now new Bible, Psychopath Free by Jackson McKenzie.
okay, there you go. So thank you for that. I'm gonna go to the comments. Unless anybody has something to say immediately, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the comments because they were back. They were definitely.
As Miss Ravioli was talking, like I just Googled how to identify abuser because, and respectfully, like your experience is your experience, but I try to be mindful of like what's anecdotal and then like what is also backed up. And the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence had a lot of the same things that she had on her list. What I want to be worrisome because when you pulled up their mugshots, you did say like, oh, they look like they would do something like that. I try to be mindful of not being like, oh, he looks like X type or he looked like somebody that'll rob you. He'll look because it doesn't really have like a physicality. You know what I mean? Because if you would have pulled one of those guys and like the story was like they jumped in the lake to save that little kid, you wouldn't be saying that. And I'm not saying they do or they don't, but it's like when you do it that way, then you miss the abuser that's a millionaire that has a lot of affluence and access and opportunities to give to people. So people like Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby, because you would never think they would do anything like that because they don't look the part. You miss those signs or disregard those signs or look over them.
Okay, I think Weinstein looks like a pervert, but Bill, I don't think Bill look like a pervert. Weinstein and Epstein niggas definitely look pervert. But I feel you. I'll try not to prejudge, but at the same time, that's why I'm bringing this question to the table. You know what I mean? Because I would like to know. So Precious says, hold on, no. He said, here we go. Miss Ravioli, you didn't even know a base head was in your bed. Start healing now. Stop it. Well,
true. I didn't in the beginning, but when I go back and look, like what through therapy, I saw the signs. I just didn't know what the signs were, why they were signs. I did not know. I attributed behaviors to something completely different because that wasn't my world. I didn't know the lifestyle of a base head. But a
Okay.
base head, a child abuser, all of that. Like con artist is a con artist is a con artist.
Okay.
That is really what child abusers are. They're con artists. Not only are they conning the children, they're conning everyone within the community because the community doesn't can't readily identify them. They believe that they're this great pillar of the within the society, and they're not. They're con artists at the core.
Okay. Virginia Slim says, what about the abusers that exhibit none of these traits and suddenly flips out on you like Phase on Love?
They do exhibit the traits. You just have to pay attention. That's the thing. You can't let their outer appearance stop you from seeing who they really are. If you really pay attention, the one of the things that they do, I know a lot of times, is if you ask a question, they won't answer the question. They will respond, but they will not answer the question. And if you just ask the question again, like let them talk, ask the question again, let them talk, ask the question again, they'll get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see it.
Okay. Pressure says, read this for me, Steph, because I owe Miss Ravioli a song request. So I need to go find the name of that song really quick. So I just want to do that but read that for me, Steph.
Okay, women see what they want to see and hear what they want to hear. If Phase on Love starts busting your ass, it's your fault for being attracted to an alleged gang member who has documented fits of violence. I'm sorry.
Miss Ravioli, go ahead and respond.
Faison would be the perfect person to battle Lucifer. I'm not saying that I would get into an intimate relationship with Faison, but
Yes, you
I
are.
mean,
Yes, you are.
no,
Don't
seriously.
try to play this.
Seriously.
You was on his body earlier in the comments. You was loving it. You say he flamed
Okay,
people.
so
Come on,
but this
come
is
on.
a
I
prime
think
example of where you cannot let the outer appearance of a person like stop you from seeing who they really are. Do I think he's physically attractive? Yes. But it's no different than if I see someone physically attractive and then I see them light up a cigarette. I mean, then it's like, okay, no, I don't. Yes, you're cute, but I don't like cigarette smoke.
All right, copy that. Go ahead, Steph. Go ahead, brother.
Miss Ravioli, I encourage you to remember your currency.
Energy currency or time currency?
Yeah, both of them. Remember
Yeah,
both
I
of
meant
them.
to say that earlier. I don't want to say that yesterday. I was like, you talked about the energy currency. You gave Pressure a lot of energy yesterday in the comments.
Oh yeah. All right. We read this earlier. Kelso said, go ahead, Steph. Go ahead.
Miss Ravioli describing the pimp. Okay, we ready.
Yep. Pressure.
Do any abusers ever come with breast or just dicks? Please enlighten me.
Yes, please enlighten us, Miss Ravioli. We need to hear your answer on this, please.
Abusers come in all forms. There's 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 no outer appearance to identify an abuser. It's
Okay.
their behaviors. The behaviors are what you wanna look at. And that goes for people like when they're dating, like watch the behaviors of an individual. And I mean, honestly, somebody can dress differently later on if that is a thing that you must have in your life, that they need to look a certain way on the outside, but the behaviors are the most important.
All right, copy. Steph.
So basically, 69 is an abuser.
Miss
Is he an
Ravioli.
abuser? Why did you say that?
Because he's a clout chaser.
Because I think that, well, I don't know that. because had the people around him been paying attention, if I was around him, I think I would have identified him as a fed. So he may just be doing his job. I don't
Interesting.
know how he abused people because those people were criminals, and if you are a criminal, um,
You
and
should be
you bring
abused.
someone, no, if you are a criminal and you bring someone in to abuse them, right? They ended up they wanted to be around him because of his money.
No,
But
they
if they
rocked.
have
Wait, they rocked with him before he had the money. They rocked. They wanted to be around him because they knew he had the potential to get the bag because he was a weirdo, you know, that enjoyed rapping, but he didn't have the money in the beginning. I just wanted to correct that. But go ahead.
same thing,
Okay,
that's just like, I mean,
semantics.
that's the person that would come in with was the lady Hispanic, and before she got the 150K from the GoFundMe,
Mm-hmm.
someone may have seen she had the potential to get 150. Okay, but they're still abusive if that's why they're going in, if that's why they're like hanging around her. The same way with those criminals. And I
Yeah,
don't
you're right.
believe in birds of a feather flock together because usually all of those birds have one bird that's clean and then they abuse
Mm,
that one bird.
interesting. But you did say that these people would surround themselves with a bunch of crazy people or spirits or something like that. You said, though, right?
Mhm.
All right. So Lucha Lee says, who did Faison flip on? He don't discriminate. Laugh out loud. He gives males and females that pressure. Somebody at the airport or something like that, right? Miss Ravioli got turned on by it. There was some TMZ video or something. Loavel says, if you ask his BM, yes, he's a rapist. Yeah, as far as talking about Takashi. Pressure says, look at laugh out loud. What did I do, Pressure? Enlighten us. Virginia Slim says he yoked up some dude at the airport. Lovel says, I dress nice sometimes. I'm not an abuser. Miss Ravioli. So let's talk about this. Some of these characteristics it's like
That's not what I'm saying.
right, but you talk about people being charismatic, right? Um
Mhm.
that like if I was talking to you and if I was someone trying to pursue you, right, and date you,
Mhm.
and then I knew
Mhm.
that your stance is, abusers are charismatic and all of this, I would be real hesitant to be charismatic with you, which is usually the goal when you're dating somebody, to put your best foot forward and shit like that, right? So, what's your take on that? I
To
dress
put your
nice,
best foot forward.
right? I dress nice. I want to make you laugh at dinner. I want to, have manners and all that. I want your family to like me. That makes me an abuser.
Are
Let me
you
know.
going to are you going to maintain those things the duration of the relationship?
If somebody, you know what, somebody can be naturally, because most people don't just, fake being charismatic. You know what I mean?
Huh?
So,
Can you answer the question yes or no, please?
I'm trying to, don't abuse me. What I was starting to say is most people don't, you know what I mean? You can't fake the funk when it comes to being charismatic, right? Somebody fakes the funk being charismatic. Usually you can spot them being phony. You know what I mean? Being polite,
How? How
you
so?
might, because you're corny. You know what I mean? To be charismatic, it's a difference between being charismatic and corny. If you're corny, you're corny. If you're a corny ass nigga, you're corny. If you're charismatic, right? But being polite, you can fake, right? But being funny, you can't fake. You know what I'm saying? Being a cool ass nigga, you can't fake. You could be a fake polite motherfucker and then flip and not be polite. But to be a cool nigga, you can't fake that, right? So if somebody has those attributes, where they are the life of the party and all of that, should they feel guilty or something? Is that, you know what I mean? Or if they like to dress nice, is like he's saying, that's basically the root of this question, right? What if somebody has some of those qualities, you know what I mean, but only because they were blessed with that quality? You know what I mean? That's the root of that
Okay.
question.
What I'm right, and my question back to you is that something that you were going to maintain
If
the
that's
duration
yes,
of the relationship?
well, my fault,
Let
you're
me
right.
tell you
But yes,
let
yes.
me
If
tell you
we
why.
If you're charismatic, you're going to remain charismatic. Yes.
Let me explain this. Okay, so let's say someone has they're charismatic, but how long can they do that? Right? If they have to do it for an hour, they may not succeed. The next person may not succeed for a whole day. It depends. Is that really that person and how they are, or are they just trying to um, woo the crowd? Does that make sense?
It
Because a
does.
lot of times people are charismatic for a moment in
Okay.
like snippets, but that's not who they really are. And if you were doing it solely to reel the person in and that is not who you truly are,
Mm-hmm.
it's abuse.
Okay. Now let me go a little further with that, and I see you, Mimi. I'm gonna let you say something right after this. A lot of people, we know that when people are dating, their first few months is what is the joke? The representative, right? That's pretty
It's
common.
actually
That's
6 months.
okay. Fair enough. 6 months, right? That's
Hmm.
pretty common, right? But then afterwards, they might, they might, not be the super, like whatever the good part is, they the representative brought to the table. They might not be that, but they might not be a bad person, but they might be exactly who that representative is. You know what I'm saying? They might fart in front of you now, whereas before they act like they don't take a shit. You know what I'm saying? So is that 100% abuse, or is that just something that happens in relationships? Where, because I know me personally, when I was dating, I believe that I have to know you for a while before I even consider an actual one-on-one relationship with a woman. Like before I get committed, like I need to know the real you. I need to know the hoe in you. I need to know all of that. You know what I mean? I need to be cool with all parts of you, the good, the bad. So I always took time, right, to let that come out. But just when they kind of let me know the real them or more of them, the other levels of them, that didn't mean they were foul later. It didn't negate the bad that they not even bad, but the more I knew about them, didn't negate the good representation they put in the beginning. You feel me? So is that 100% across the board? If someone gives you a representation of themselves, they're an abuser?
To a certain degree, but it could be the level could be so low that it may not matter. All I'm saying is, so let's flip it. If someone comes to you and they're dressed and they present this person, and let's say that person is presented to you for 3 months, and then here in months 4, 5, and 6, that's not who they are. It's some other version of them, the real them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have preferred that they showed you the person from months 4, 5, and 6 in the beginning, and that you would have saved your time during months 1, 2, and 3? Because a lot of times what happens is people get stuck on the person that they saw in months 1, 2, and 3, and they
Mm-hmm.
want that person to reappear, and they
Mm-hmm.
know that they saw that person, but the reality is that person never existed. That person was fake. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
It
And
does.
that's like the addiction that victims have. It's like being an addict to a drug. You're seeking that initial high, which you can never get. I don't know.
So
I don't do drugs, but that's how I hear it. Like
okay.
you want that initial high, and you can never regain that initial high.
All right, Mimi, then stuff.
Oh, yeah, I think y'all saying kind of same things, but living in the gray area. And you just brought up the point that I was gonna make, like when you're dating, like, and I feel like it's more 3 months, especially in this like rapid,
Mm-hmm.
instantaneous. Like you'll get that representative because they're trying to impress you, both on both sides, male and female, or however you date. Um, you get that representative, and then come once they like feel comfortable enough to let their hair down, you start seeing all sides, because people can't hold um the they can't hold the things that aren't their default for long.
Mm-hmm.
So they fall off. I think a lot of these things that you're saying as like how to identify abusers. Some of them still feel very antidote, and then some of them, I think, they're good things to look at, but you can't. But it's not saying them as absolutes. And I'm not saying you are or aren't. I'm just saying my opinion. Saying them as absolutes can present a false positive. So someone who is charismatic doesn't mean I need to put the red flag up and say, oh, he's an abuser, or
Right.
there's levels. So he may be, abuser, diet abuser, and abuser like no, he could just be charismatic, and that's their personality, and that's who they are. And so I think, just especially us being women, being very careful of like the information that we're like putting out there and saying like these are the absolute signs, like those could be like very exclusive to your experiences.
I gotta run really soon, but Steph, go ahead, and then I'm gonna read the last couple comments.
Okay. So basically, now, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So abuser doesn't have to actually physically or verbally abuse you to be an abuser, is what I'm hearing.
There are different types of abuse, and yes.
Okay, so like this is my first haircut of 2021, right? So if I go on a date and I meet this young woman, she sees this representative, and I don't go on to get a haircut for another 4 months, I've abused this woman because she's expecting well-groomed Steph. That's what you're essentially saying, right?
Ms. Ravi.
Okay, the first time you see her, you have the haircut. Are you serious? And then you're saying you don't
Because
get your
we
haircut for
just said
4
this.
months after that?
Right.
Yeah.
So she sees you as the non-hair, as the person that doesn't cut their hair for the basically the entire time. She's only seen you with your haircut once. Is that what you're saying? Are you
Yeah,
abusive to her?
in the beginning, you come with a haircut. You was that's part of being presentable.
Like
and then
Logic. I've been a low cut haircut, low haircut guy my whole life, right? I just went the longest tenure in my lifetime without cutting my hair.
right.
Does that make me an abuser? Because I'm no longer and then I pose this question on the opposite spectrum, right? If I get with a woman, she's always groomed, hair nice, nails done, smelling good all the time, and now that we're moving together, she doesn't do these things as much. Is she an abuser?
Have other
I just need to
behaviors
know, Kim.
changed?
I just
Because this is have other behaviors also changed?
No, she doesn't physically or verbally abuse me. She still goes to work, still does everything she did when I met her. She just let her appearance go a little bit.
Okay. So do you feel as though she tricked you? That's really what it's about. How do you feel? Are
Okay.
you okay with the fact that she changed like that?
I
Do you feel that she manipulated you? Do you feel like you were calm because she kept up her hair in the beginning, or she dressed nice, or she went to the gym,
Ms.
and now
Ravioli,
that you're
it's not about how you feel, if you feel kind or whatever. It's about if they're abusing you or
I'm
not. If
trying to
they're
identify an
abusing,
abuser. That's what I'm trying to
yeah,
do.
but listen, Ms. Ravioli, we're gonna have to table this because I really have to go. My son has e-learning that I have to monitor real quick, really soon. But Lucha says time is the best detective. I'm sorry to cut this short, y'all. He also says if she wear a wig, run, which also goes to with the point you were just saying. Listen, that makeup shit is crazy too. I see some of these makeup tutorials and shit. These women could look like a total different person. So maybe makeup is abuse. Lucha says she sound like a poor character judgment. Salute. I don't. I'm not familiar with that name, but salute to you for being. Mr. Ravioli says she just described herself and tell them it was me in the back seat. You be telling to shut the fuck up. Virginia Sims says makeup is the devil. And Brooklyn Hydro says, have you guys ever heard of burial pods turn you into a tree? Look it up. I have, sir. Ms. Ravioli, you've been requesting this song because it relates to habits. It's called Habits by JFK Fetty. It's actually called Mood. However, introduce the song and why you like this song so much. So we can
It's
just
called what? I
well,
like the beat. And I want to channel Megan Thee Stallion because I want to be on the remix.
okay, there you go. So Miss Ravioli wants to be on the remix of this song Mood, aka Habits by JFK Fetty. This will be the only song we'll be playing at the end of today's show, simply because I have family business to handle. However, salute to all my co-hosts for the day. Mimi F. Baby, Steph Got Jokes, Vanessa Smilez, Schoolboy, and of course, Miss Ravioli. This is a prelude to what's to come from Miss Ravioli, and this is Miss Ravioli's song.
Can I say one thing?
Say it.
Everybody look up flattery versus compliments.
Flattery versus compliments. Homework from Miss Ravioli. JFK Fetty, Mood, aka Habits. Let's get it. All right. This has been the Morning Rant. Actually, I take that back. It is called Habits, and that was the wrong motherfucking video. Let's get it.
Go, payday, go. I got a habit for fucking on bad bitches. Forest in traffic and big guns that go bang, bang, bang. I got a habit for fucking up bags quick and getting it back quick. I don't chase money, it don't run. Riding through BK, stroll through the hood, better have that kid. I wish a nigga would bring beef my way. Put it on the hood, I'ma make him pay. Hope you got a pole next to you. And nigga, I'm a professional. I won't think twice, I put you on ice, you'll be a cold vegetable. Niggas be killing me, talking that drilling shit, I wanna see what the drilling be. I catch them at shows and press them in front of they hoes, I guess it's the villain me. I let them keep all their jewelry, I might just sip up a Hennessy. I might just smack them up in front of this bitch and make her remember me. She said you back on your bolo shit, your ABG money gang robo shit. I told her shut up and roll a spliff. I'm trying to travel the solar bitch. She like the dick, said to satisfy her. She sucked the shit like a pacifier. I smacked that ass to that ass on fire. I hit it twice, then I passed the fire. Oh yeah, I got a habit for fucking on bad bitches. Forest in traffic and big guns that go bang, bang, bang. I got a habit for fucking up bags quick and getting it back quick. I don't chase money, it don't run. Riding through BK, stroll through the hood, better have that kid. I wish a nigga would bring beef my way. I put it on the hood, I'ma make him pay. Ay, riding through BK, stroll through the hood, better have that kid. I wish a nigga would bring beef my way. I put it on the hood, I'ma make him pay. Ay, niggas jacking at their GQ niggas, really looking like some fiend niggas. I take the jacket to the BQ, nigga. Politic with my queens niggas. I can hit Euro and boss up. Tell them to pop out the Porsche truck. Bentley Coupe or the Alpina. Same flavors like now ladies. I hit the gas and I mash out. She give me ass or her ass out. 100K on the cash out. You say that much you might pass out. Ayy, you know my grind. Could take 100 a day if I tried. I blew like 100K on my ride. Bitches is jacking your boy on my vibe. 20K on a fit, up and down. Shit's clean, on the dance, on the floor, and around. Billie Jean, ayy, I'm the MJ of the new school. How much money he make, that's a blues clue. You could try and come take if you choose to, but my young niggas gang, they gon' shoot you. Ayy, I got a habit for fucking on bad bitches. Forest in traffic and big guns that go bang, bang, bang. I got a habit for fucking up bags quick and getting it back quick. I don't chase money, it don't run. Riding through BK, stroll through the hood, better have that kid. I wish a nigga would bring beef my way. I put it on the hood, I'ma make him pay. Ay, riding through BK, stroll through the hood, better have that kid. I wish a nigga would bring beef my way. I put it on the hood, I'ma make him